Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for the subscription, for the love, for the shares, for the comments. You guys are absolutely amazing and I am thankful. If you're new here, please do hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that every time I get a video like this out, you will be the first to know. In today's video, I will be sharing some acting tips with a very good friend of mine, and I hope you'll be excited because I'm excited too. And a lot of you have been asking for these acting tips. Now, of course, I'm not going to give everything because it's going to take so long and we need like 10 hours or more just to give you everything that we know. However, we're just going to share a few tips with you today. Hopefully you will learn one or two things from them. If you'd like any more, let me know in the comment section below and let me know what you think. Alrighty, here we go.
This is me, whether you like it or not. Quick to talk, but you do not do a lot. If I change, then it will be for the better. No apology, so don't expect a lot.
Okay, so I am going to give the tips as promised, and to do that with me is no other than Vulo, who is an actor. I'll let him introduce himself because if I introduce him, I might say too much. Like, you know, Kabulon.
Oh, what the? I told you I had confidence.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so my name is Vulo MWAKA. I'm an actor. Pretty much it. I do a bit of cinematography as well, but mostly an actor. Yeah.
Good actor. So for those of you who may not know him, he does play Nicole on Zambia's first ever telenovela called Zuba. We're actually an on-screen couple, and so I thought, hey, this would be a fun thing to do off-screen and just give some acting tips. So a lot of you approach me many times. I'm sorry, I'm gonna like keep diverting. So this makes me laugh because I know a friend who likes making fun of YouTubers, like saying, you guys always say a lot of you have been asking, but no one has been asking. So anyway, but yes, for this it is true. People have been asking about acting tips and how to get into the industry. I do have a part 1 video on that. I will link it in the description below and you can just click on the link and get something from there. But with this, I just decided he might give better tips than I would, and we'll just give a bit of a discussion on what other tips you can learn, because acting is very wide and so it's impossible to give, you know, advice in just one video, but we'll do what we can. Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, the people who actually go to school, you learn for a whole, like what, 3 years just acting, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's deep. A lot of people think just because I can pretend to be somebody, then I'm a good actor. And I don't think that's what it is, you know what I mean? It's deeper than that.
Exactly. So just to put a bit of a definition on acting, it's not pretending to be something else. Acting is action and reaction. So say, for example, you're in a scene with a partner, you're basically listening to what they're saying and reacting accordingly. So that's why it's important to apply real life situations. So how would I react if someone told me, oh, I just killed your cat? It's about reacting. And sometimes even if you have a script and it says in the script, this person says, oh, I just killed your cat, the script will say, how dare you do that? But if the person decides to change their lines, for example, like, I'm sorry, I accidentally killed your cat, you have to react according to what they say and not necessarily go by the script, which is why it's a reaction to what you get.
Yeah, exactly. Just to add on to that, it's like a lot of people don't listen to what the other person is saying. It's just ready to just punch a line. It's like, okay, my cue is if you end at, say, cat. Yeah. My next line is, how dare you? You know what I mean? Yeah. But then you have to hear what the person said. It's like a real life. You really have to pull from real life. You have to look at it like, in a real life situation, what would I really do if somebody told me this, and how would I react depending on how they told me that? You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that you pretty much told everything about that. Acting is reacting.
Yeah, it's reaction, and so there are. I could say basics or like fundamentals with acting that a lot of us tend to shy away from. And some people are just naturally talented. Like they don't really have to go to school or to be told that you have to do this and this and that. Although I do think that it's important to learn constantly. And I mentioned this even in the other video, you have to continue learning. Because even with me, there was a point, I still do take acting classes. I have an acting coach and he helps me just to improve my craft. So even if you are talented, even if you know what you're doing, that's why even these big Hollywood actors still go for classes.
Yeah,
because
you have to. I mean, look at it this way. If let me put it in terms of, for example, technology, right? If 20 years ago all you knew was like print media, for example, right? These days there's like media on the phone and whatnot. If all you stuck to was print media, you're gonna die out. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with acting. Acting always evolves. There was that acting back in the day where people used to be very dramatic in their acting.
Yes.
But then you remember those days, right? But then now it's like
play circle days.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But so now people have to tone it down, and you kind of learn what the current environment is like. You know what people like. What's the word? Acclimatized to? I think that's the word.
Acclimatized.
But yeah, that. So if you stick to your old ways, I'm sorry, then you're gonna die out just like the old ways.
Exactly. Perfect example. I remember the first acting class I took, and Becky Ngoma, she's a renowned writer, director.
Becky is amazing.
Yeah, she is. So I remember, because I came from a theater background, I used to do a lot of stage. So when she would give us scenes to do, I would be like overly dramatic, and she told me, look, with stage it's different. You have to overreact because people at the back need to see what you're saying, what you're
emoting.
Yes.
See?
They have to see
I also know a word.
Yeah, congratulations, sir.
Yeah.
They have to, see your reactions. They have to hear what you're saying. And so that's why it's over the top. Whereas with television, the camera will pick up even the most subtle movement. So you don't have to overdo it. And that's when I learned that, oh, okay, so I don't have to be like, how dare you? I can just be like, how dare you? Yeah. And you can see that.
Yeah, and they're little... I remember I was watching this video about people's reactions to certain things. So there are little facial expressions that happen. Like they're actually called micro expressions. They're really subtle. People can't really see them. Like they don't know that they've seen them. You know what I mean? It's like that type of thing where somebody's done something, you notice it, but you don't notice that you actually noticed it.
Exactly.
So that's kind of how TV acting is.
Yeah.
If you do the stage acting, it's like staying in the old ways again.
Exactly. And speaking of subtleties, like I remember someone else as well gave me this tip. He's a director, and so it was funny, right? 2 scenarios, and then he just says, okay, gives me something like, oh, I slept with your friend. And I was like, what? How dare you, And then he goes like, okay, now just think back to when it actually happened, and or something similar if you've never experienced it. And then I went in, and then he said, I slept with your friend. And the reaction was completely different. Like, it was like, I was just like trying to hold back, but you could see it. And that's another thing with acting as well. Which is why most times you have to borrow from real life situations. So when you've experienced something before, don't just think about it, okay? Think of the experience, the moment, how you felt, which is why it's important to take time to get into the scene. There are a lot of times, a lot of actors make this mistake of just like, they're laughing, ha 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 ha, and you're supposed to be angry in the scene. The moment director yells action and then you go into it. No, you have to build you
have to feel it. That actually builds onto, there's like a point I want to talk about, emotions. Emotions is hard to really explain. Like you can't really teach somebody emotions.
No.
I actually forgot to mention, I edit too. So it's like when you reach a certain point in editing, there's certain times that you just feel like this doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? Like the edit itself just doesn't feel right until you get it right. It's like it builds over time. When you keep editing, you've got like 200 videos of editing, and you get to a point where you just look at a scene, you're like, nah, this is
yeah.
Okay. So it's the same thing with emotion. I can't really teach you until you've really experienced it a lot of times, and you're just like, okay, look, this emotion can't be faked. I really have to feel it. You know what I mean? The times where, I'll give you examples where, for example, we're on set, and then there's a scene where I have to feel a certain way. I literally get goosebumps. Yeah, you know, like you literally get goosebumps and you're like, oh shit, how did that happen? You know what I mean? But I think it happens with practice pretty much.
Yeah, with practice. And it's also, I guess, you know, when you feel the moment, you feel. That's why it's very important, which is one of the points again we're going to bring up, is studying your script. When you study your script, you understand what is going on in that moment. And so you know that at this point, I need to be angry. At this point, I need to be happy. At this point, I need to be sad. So the fact that you're displaying all of these emotions, you can't just go into a scene without proper preparation. So preparation is very, very important. So as you read the script, you understand, and then try and think back to a moment when you experienced anger. Was it extreme anger, or was it just, you know, a little bit of anger? So that's why you also have to really understand your script so that you know just how much emotion to let out. And so when you borrow from real life situation, take yourself back to that moment. Think of the script, think of the lines, but subconsciously take yourself back to that moment. And that will also help really like push out the emotions you're looking for. There have been times where, you know, I'll struggle as well, you know, to just bring out a scene and you're just doing it to like, okay. But when you take time to ground yourself, it's called grounding. When you ground yourself in the scene, you understand what you need, what is the motive of the character, what is the point of the scene at that point, what are you trying to communicate through that scene, and then get into that space, get into that moment, stay there. Even if the director says cut and you have to do another take, stay there. It's going to help you perform better. Yeah,
which adds on to something I didn't really think that we'll talk about, but concentrating. It's acting does really take a lot of concentration because it's like if you just there again saying your lines, it's not really gonna come out as good as it can if you really stay in character. So you're really concentrating. You know what I mean? And then going back to what you were saying about. For example, being grounded in the scene and whatnot, it's like, how do I explain it? It's, I feel, again, it's one of those things where you really can't teach somebody until they do it enough times that they can.
Exactly, it's practice. Which is why it's important to watch different movies as well.
I remember I was giving a talk somewhere and I asked the guys, they're like, has any of you seen The Godfather? Nobody has any of you seen this movie, that movie? Literally, nobody had seen any movie. And then when I asked them, okay, so what are your favorite actors, for example? One guy said, what was his name? Scott Adkins in Undisputed. What was the guy's name? Boyka. I'm like, that's not even an actor. How? You know what I mean?
My God.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So watching movies is, for me, that was the easiest research.
Yes.
Way before
Free
I even
research.
way before I even got into acting, I used to watch movies, and this is something I talk about a lot. I would pause it, see what the person has done, and then try to repeat it and see how I can do it in my own way. Okay, so and then on top of that, the whole thing where you're talking about reacting in a certain way, right? It's like there are times where somebody pisses you off so much that you can't even say anything. It's just, you get so emotional, maybe just teary-eyed, you know what I mean? The other times you explode. The other times you laugh. The other time, so you have to understand what's really going on. So I think that kind of goes into subtext as well. It's like, what is going on beneath what is going on? You know what I mean? That's I literally wrote that down. What is going on under the situation? Because if you're just looking at it like, okay, I walk into a place, I find my best friend sleeping with my girlfriend. What am I gonna do? But then what's happened maybe before that? What situations has a character gone through before that exact point? You know what I mean?
Because it could be that you just had a rough day at work. Maybe there was a robbery and people got shot, and you're just looking forward to getting home to tell your girlfriend I had a long day and you want some cuddles, and you find that situation, and then
it's like,
you're like, you know what, I'm too tired for this. You don't react. But then there's other cases where it's necessary for you to be aggressive and whatnot.
And then you have situations where, for example, imagine you just won the lottery and then you find your best friend sleeping with your girlfriend. Now, how do you react to that? So there's subtleties like that happen within scenes that you really have to read into as well.
Yeah. So I guess just to summarize the first things we've spoken about, first things first, as an actor, as you get into a scene, understand the script. One, understand the script. understand the motive, what you're trying to communicate, the subtext.
Yes.
Secondly, when you get into the scene, borrow from real life. Let's just say that's the second point. Borrow from real life.
It's the easiest research ever.
Exactly.
People watch. Just watch people.
Watch people.
It might look weird though. You just seated at the cafe watching people just act a certain way. But then at the end of the day, it'll really make you realize how for example, overacting it's not real acting. You know what I mean? Yeah. So if I'm seated at a cafe, I'm watching a person. The person is maybe on a phone call. I see them really agitated or something. Maybe they can't even touch their food. Next time I have to do a scene, I just have to pull from from memory. I'm just like, I remember that happening. So how did he react? And then how would my character react based on what has happened?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Third, don't stop learning. Research. Yeah. So it's also borrows from what you just said, like observe people, but also watch a lot of movies, interact with a lot of people in film, whether it's a producer or director. Directors can give you a lot of advice as well, and you don't necessarily have to be working with them, but you can just tell them, look, I struggle with ABCD, and they'll tell you how to go about it. I have an acting coach that also really helps. Not a lot of people have that privilege, so I guess watching movies would be the easiest and freest
It's pretty much
way.
free,
Yeah.
Talking about directors, for example, whenever I have struggle with, for example, crying scenes, right? Nancy always sorts it out for me.
Yeah.
Every time I talk to Nancy, I don't know what she'll say to you. It'll stick in your head, and all of a sudden, the water was.
She's really good at that, and that's how, even as an actor. See, now we're just going all over the place, but it's helping. It's
wide. That's the thing with acting, is it's too wide.
Exactly, it's very wide. Yeah. But let's just say once you're in the industry, you're an actor. You're not going to just work with one director. You're not going to work with one crew. If you're going to work on a lot of productions, you will find yourself working with different people, different types of directors. So you have to understand a director's strengths and their weaknesses, and then know how to communicate with them. So there are some directors who are good at doing action sequences, for example, and they will help bring out that side of you. Then there are other directors who are very good at bringing out the emotional side of you. And once you understand this, it will be very easy as well to work well with such.
So actually, while you're talking right now, the word that came to mind is versatility. You just have to be versatile.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Don't be so stagnant that you're thinking, no, on the last production we didn't do this.
Yeah. They'll just look at you like, oh, okay, go back to that
exactly. You know what I mean?
Then.
And that's going to always be a problem. So, which is another point I want to talk about, is working with the director. I think as human beings, we have an ego. That's just how we are. We have egos. But then you have to realize that the character is not you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you'll be told to do the silliest thing
ever. Most stupid thing.
But you have to do it because that's what the character needs to do. You know what I mean? Yeah, but I'll give you an example. I can't dance, right? I can't
at all.
And
it's difficult to do the wedding scenes. I'm sorry. Okay, no, Mandy, you danced very well.
I break dance, right? I told you.
That's very stiff still. But anyway, it's still dancing.
Okay, anyways, I had to do this scene. With Nachi, where she's teaching me to dance. My legs look like I looked like I was having a fit.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was bad. It was terrible. But then, because that's what the director needed me to do.
Yeah, you have to. And again, which will bring me to the next point now. As an actor, you have to be very, very flexible.
Are we talking about bones or just character?
Flexible. Like if they tell you jump in this mud, you're not going to be like, ew, but my skin is sensitive. Nah, you jump in that water. If you react later. They'll sort it out.
I remember one actress who used to do that a lot. We shall not mention names, but let me just say Zoo season 1.
And they never came back?
Yeah, they didn't.
Sir! Anyway.
No shots fired, it's just facts.
No, but that's the thing, you know, a lot of productions, they love to work with actors who are open, who are flexible. Yeah. If you don't have too many excuses, the better. Yeah. And so you just have to be flexible to do a lot of things. Acting can be degrading most times. So if in one production you play this character who's like a lawyer, very like pristine suits, and on the next one you're playing a gardener.
Yeah. Actually, my first scene on Zulu was a gardener.
Yes, but don't snitch.
This is
Anyway,
Okay,
it's
yeah.
too late.
Yeah.
Some people didn't recognize you probably, but
I had an
he
afro.
was a
That's
gardener.
why.
Shem,
I had an afro.
skinny looking, dirty looking, couldn't speak an ounce of English.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, you do what you have to do, because at the end of the day, if you're passionate about this, you can play any character.
Yeah.
And if you're very diverse, you can play this character to that character, and you have range. That means you're going to get a lot more opportunities, because people will be like, that actor can do anything and everything. And so in order for you to be flexible, for you to be versatile, you have to learn as many skills as you possibly can.
Oh, yeah.
For example, you have your talent, yes, like I can sing, I dance, I cook, I bake, and whatever. But skills that I've had to learn, not because I wanted to act, but just out of interest, have kind of helped me as well. So like playing guitar, for example, like if
You
you
can
learn
play the guitar.
Yes.
How do you?
Bro, it's like
It's
just that with nails it's not so easy. But it's just practice.
How long did it take you?
50
years.
So my dad got the guitar for me as a birthday present when I was 15.
Yeah.
But I only started learning when I completed high school. Because obviously I had a bit more free time. So my uncle taught me, the choir director at church also taught me a few chords. Yeah, but I was very impatient. I wanted to be an expert immediately.
Yeah.
But again, same thing with acting. You have to be very, very patient. It's practice. If you have to look in the mirror, make funny expressions, you look silly. Remember those acting exercises?
Yeah, when Nancy would do them, oh my goodness.
No, and she'd bring this lady who taught us. So basically, we had an instructor who used to, she used to deal with stroke patients, right?
Oh, yeah.
So she used to help us do a lot of facial expressions, like facial exercises, which helps because one thing about acting is if you're too stiff, if you're not relaxed, still goes back again to the flexibility. So flexible in that you can do anything, but flexible physically, because acting is it's everything. It's mental work, it's spiritual, it's emotional,
physical,
but it's also very physical.
Yeah.
And so people are like, why are you always tired? Why are you always tired? It's draining.
It is.
So the fact that it's physical means that you have to exercise all your muscles. And so even the facial exercises help with facial expressions or just not getting tired of showing expressions, because the more flexible your muscles are, it's like working out in the gym.
You have more what's the word, it's like you can last longer just working on the set, for example.
Yeah.
But then I need to take you back to what you were saying about being flexible, for example, right? Like how you know how to play the guitar. Now imagine if you have to do a movie where, for example, your character plays the guitar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now you have that advantage because you can actually play the guitar.
Exactly.
But then if you have to start learning it or you're not interested in learning it, then you have to use a body double every time. And
and even not just that, like you should be able to change your voices, do accents.
Remember yesterday when we were doing that scene and we were going through it with different accents.
And people are just looking at us like we do what we can because it's stressful, so you just have to. So anyway, last point, we've said a lot, but I'm sure there's a bit of a structure. I hope you guys are following.
I swear.
If you're not, let us know in the comment section below, and we can just do a little write-up for you, but watch the video. Okay, pay attention. So anyway, it's basically those are some of the tips. But lastly, because if we keep talking, we'll just go on forever and ever.
Look, you can never really exhaust acting.
No, you can't.
Like every time I talk about
you need
acting,
like a part 1, a part 2, a part 3,
15, 16,
part 100.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Or you just talk about one thing at a time. Like, today we're going to talk
about...
about...
that's the thing with it though. You can't really just stick to one topic because when you talk
one
about
topic at a time.
But look,
but
when you talk about it, you remember something, you're like,
and then
this.
That's the thing.
For example, the motive. We're supposed to talk about the motive of the character, right? We did talk about that, but and it went all over the place. But for example, the motive of the character. Why is the character doing what they're doing? You know what I mean? Like, other than just because that's what the script says. Why are you really acting a certain way? Why are you doing this way? You know what I mean?
Why are you an actor? A lot of you are like, I want to be an actor. I want to be an actor.
Why do you even want to be an actor?
Why do you want to be an actor? Most times I would say, don't do it. But you know, if you love what you do, if you're passionate about
passion,
it,
yeah.
trust me, you're going to enjoy it. But anyway, we'll just conclude with one last point, and this I also like to emphasize because I've experienced it myself, I've observed it, is to relax. A tense actor is a bad actor, is a bad performer. You could have a bad morning and then you go on set and you have to be happy. If you're just like, it's going to show. But when you're relaxed, you know, you're comfortable, which is why most times you need to wear comfortable clothing. But of course, that's not up to you. That's up to the script and wardrobe. But when you're relaxed, when you let go of all your problems, yes, problems are there, but just leave them at home. You'll find them when you get there. So yeah, relax. That's going to help you perform even better.
That reminds me of a book I read about. I think it was Stella Adler that wrote it. She was talking about how when you get on stage, if you go to acting class, they literally tell you like, look, if your dog died today, we're sorry, but right now your character's dog didn't die, so we don't want to see that on screen. You know what I mean?
Precisely.
Yeah. So you have to stick in character. So what she said.
Yeah, relax.
Yeah.
It's good not only mentally but even physically, vocally. If you're stressed, your vocals will be strained, and so you can't project, you can't speak well, you can't enunciate. So once you relax, it will help with your performance better, and again help with your flexibility. So everything is just really related.
It is. Look, the way acting is kind of like I would say there are a bunch of ingredients that you have, right? If you, for example, if you have to bake a cake, you have flour, you have eggs, you have milk, you have sugar, you've got baking soda, you've got this and that, right? But then those same ingredients can be used to make, for example, a fritter, right? So you use the exact same things, but to bring out different aspects of acting. So that's why acting is just, I need to go to school for acting.
Right, I need to go back to class as well, but you know, learn as much as you can. Watch videos like mine and the previous one, which I did, which I will link below.
Follow and subscribe.
Yeah, follow, subscribe, like. He also gives acting tips on his Instagram, so you can follow him there. What's your name on Instagram? No, it's something else.
Not Coffee with 60. Come on, I changed that, right?
Good.
It's just Vulo Mukali.
All right, so thank you so much for coming. You're amazing as usual. High five.
Thank you very much.
I can't reach. The jacket is very big. And thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about this video, and if you'd like to learn any other tips, let me know in the comment section below. If you'd like to see a mini series of this, I'm willing to do that.
If you want me back,
they will want you back, bruh. They always want you back. Chef. It's fine. It's cool.
okay.
Then
I'll be back.
Yeah, so do let me know again. We can do this again and again and again, because you can never just speak about it enough. And I always love to just share, because I'm not doing this for me. Like I say, I'm doing this for you guys. So, you know, if there's any way I can help and this is one of them, I will definitely do it. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Do follow him on Facebook, Instagram. You're not on Twitter.
No, I'm not. I am on Twitter, but I'm not active on Twitter.
Anyway, Vulo Mukali, follow him. And we will, maybe you won't come back. I don't know.
I will. Just call me. I'll come back.
Not we. I will be back in my next video.
We will be back in the next video.
Alrighty, so thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend in case they do want some acting tips. And I will see you next time. Bye.
This is me, whether you like it or not. Quick to talk, but you do not do a lot. If I change, then it will be for the better. No apology, so don't expect a letter. Sit down and listen, eh?